Hi, I'm Aaliyah.
I'm Isabella.
Isabella. Isabella, hello. Isabella!
I'm Jose.
And I am Valentina.
And today we are going to be talking about microplastics. So, what are microplastics? They're tiny little plastic particles that are usually smaller than 5 millimeters in size. That's around the size of a sesame seed or maybe even smaller.
Too small. It's small. And you know what else is small?
And they come from two main sources. Some are made intentionally, like the little beads found in cosmetics or in toothpaste. These are called primary microplastics. And others come from broken down larger plastics, like bottles, bags, or even clothing fibers. These are called secondary microplastics. So basically, we find microplastics in our everyday lives, in our airs, in our ocean, and even in the food that we eat. So learning to understand where they come from can help us figure out how to reduce them in the future.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
So now we are going to be talking about where microplastics may possibly come from. To begin with, a lot of everyday products such as toothpaste, face scrubs, or cleaning agents are able to release microplastics through the form of microbeads. Additionally, various synthetic fabrics release microplastics, as the washing of these fabrics through clothing made of nylon or polyester, for example, release these microplastics into the water. Additionally, plastic bottles, bags, packagings, or other plastic waste products break down over time, and this releases microplastics into the ecosystem.
Look at my phone selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my god, like, can we talk about like
Microplastics are being released into the world every day.
On top of that, industrial processes such as plastic production or transportation are a huge factor in the release of microplastics, as they release tiny pellets called nurdles into the environment. And lastly, the wear and tear of tires in vehicles can release microplastic dust into roads and waterways.
Next thing we're going to talk about is the environmental impact that microplastics pose. First is marine ecosystems. A lot of sea animals can mistake microplastics for food, ingesting it and causing them harm. Next is the food chain contamination, making microplastics travel up the food chain, eventually reaching us humans. And lastly, soil and freshwater pollution, which is when microplastics accumulate in lakes, rivers, and farmlands, directly affecting the plant and animal life there.
So, as we just spoke about, microplastics can reach us humans. So let's talk about those kinds of health concerns that they pose. So through ingestion, they can reach us through like seafood, water, even salt, and also inhalation through airborne fibers. The ingestion of microplastics can cause inflammation, cell damage, and even hormone disruption. Although this whole like topic is still kind of up in the air and more studies are needed, these things have been said.
So how do we even know about all these things that microplastics can do? So actually, scientists use microscopes and different kinds of chemical analysis to find and study them. By doing so, they can understand the long-term effects that microplastics have on our environment and even our health. And by using that information, they can work on building better waste management practices that could hopefully help reduce plastic pollution in the future.
So how can we fix this lasting issue of microplastics and prevent it? We can reduce the use of plastic bottles, bags, and containers. We can induce avid recycling habits, and we can promote sustainable habits and cleanup initiatives.
So now I'm going to talk about some of the policy responses that come worldwide because of microplastics and just the overall influence that microplastic poses, again, worldwide. So the United Nations Environment Program, the UNEP, is working towards a possible solution or global plastics treaty. Another thing is that the European Union has even banned microbeads and are setting limits on single-use plastics, as well as some other countries. The microbeads, as mentioned, in some of the cosmetics that we use has microbeads in it, and so some European nations are trying to get rid of the use of that, as well as so many other developing countries that are facing even greater challenges due to the limited waste management system and rapid plastic use growth. As we're developing, the more plastic is getting used, the more of these developing countries are at risk of all the risks that we just spoke about. And as previously said, we can avoid these issues by doing things like research partnerships, coastal cleanup programs, and international data sharing to aim and track the use of microplastics and to reduce microplastic pollution globally.
Microplastics are a progressing environmental issue which is caused by various forms of human activity. They impact ecosystems, wildlife, and can even impact human health. Reducing plastic consumption and improving waste systems could be the key to managing this problem. Thank you for listening.